Good morning, everyone. In our yesterday's class, we are going through the different descriptive statistics that we can use in Pandas data frame. Now, in today's class, we are going on further, and our first topic is standard deviation. I hope all of you are familiar with this term, standard deviation, that you have used in your maths and physics subjects also. So, what is deviation? The action of departing from established course or accepted standard is known as deviation, right? For suppose you are having a standard over here or you are having the answer over here, but your value is coming near there, so it is a deviation from this, the original value, to there. Okay, so now what it means the amount of variation or dispersion of a set of values. Next, if a standard deviation is high, then what does it mean? And if it is low, then what does it mean? So if it is high, then there is a dispersion more in your data set, and if it is low, then you are near the mean of a set. Okay, so a low standard deviation means the values tend to be close. For suppose this is your set, you are having a mean over here. Now if your deviation is low, that means your values are near your mean. Okay, so this is low deviation. But if your deviation is like this, scattered here and there, that means your deviation is high because it is at a larger distance from the mean, whereas these ones are the smaller distance from the mean. So it is a low standard deviation and it is high standard deviation. Okay, next one, where it is most used, or it is most important in the field of finance and banking, as a risk measuring is involved in it. So you can say that basically standard deviation is used to measure the risk, not even in the finance and banking field. When we are working on engineering problems, financial problems, or you can say that even in the geographical problems are also there, from which we are going to relate the time and what kind of rocks, or you can say that approximations were needed, then standard deviation is needed. Okay, maximum it is using in the field of risk take, or you can say the risk management. When we develop a software, we are having a particular area or a particular sphere which is known as a risk management, so there we calculate the standard deviation. Now, steps to calculate the standard deviations. Before that, we are having a formula for standard deviation, where S is the standard deviation, N is number of elements in the particular list, Xi is the number of, or you can say the element at the position I, and X bar is the mean of that list. Now we are taking the example. For suppose I am having a list like this, which is having a number 9, 2, 12, 4, 5, 7. So in total I am having 6 numbers in my list. First step is to calculate the mean. And as we all know that mean is sum of all the numbers divided by the total number is equal to mean. So here we are having the mean as 6.5. Now what we have to do, our next step is to calculate Xi minus X bar square. That means the number at position I minus mean. So here at first position we are having 9. Our mean is 6.5. So it's after doing the subtraction, the square is 6.25. Next number is 2. In same case we will go till 7. After that we are going to work on the mean. We are going to do the sum of all the differences that we have calculated. Then we are going to divide it by n minus 1, that is 1 by 5. 5 is 6 minus 1 into 65.5. So here 13.1 is our variance. What is variance? Variance is the square of a standard deviation, or you can say that if we remove the square root, then it becomes the variance. Now we have to take the square root of that. So here we get the answer as 3.619 approximately, right, which is a standard deviation. That means from mean 6.5 it is deviating to 3.619. Now this is example, or you can say that basically the steps that we follow to calculate the standard deviation. In our pandas, it gives us the opportunity that you can directly calculate the standard deviation by just a single function instead of going through all the procedure. So here we are having it. I am taking a dictionary over here that it contains information having the name of the students and their marks. After that I am creating a data frame data from the use of dictionary. Okay, and then I'm calculating a standard deviation. So you can see here the value is 3.619392. I just converted those list of marks into my data frame. You can see over here we are getting the answer is 3.619. Same you can see here we are getting the answer is 3.619392. Now our next example is of the data frame that we used in our last class, which is of export data frame having the cast name, values and their ID. I just take the standard deviation of price column. So for that, for a particular column I write the data frame name, then the column name, after that the std, which is a function for standard deviation. So here I get my answer. Now our next topic is variance. What is variance? So basically variance describe how much a random variable differs from its expected value. For suppose we are having any equation and we are expecting the answer as 5 but it is coming as 10. So we are having a variance between them. So it describes how much a random value differs from the expected value. Our expected value was 5 but our random value that comes out is 10. So it measures how far a set of numbers is spread out. Basically, if we are having this area of our solutions, okay, and we are having an answer over here, and we are also having the other answers. For example, we have solved many linear equations in mathematics, which is having several answers, several coordinates. So it is used here where we are getting the answer and how it is spread. This is variance. Okay, next one, it is defined as the average of squares of the differences between the individual, that is observation, and the expected value. So we are having the formula earlier itself. It is a formula for variance, 1 by n minus 1 sigma xi minus xi x bar square. So this is a formula of variance. If we do the square root, then it becomes the standard deviation. Now I am taking the same data that I taken earlier for standard deviation. Okay, so here I am calculating the variance, and for calculating the variance we are having the function name as VAR, and you can see over here the variance for my marks is 13.1, whereas the deviation was 3.19 something. Okay, 3.619, and here the variance is 13.1. And similar case, I have also taken my data frame that we have taken the earlier, that was the export data frame, and I am calculating the variance for a particular column, that is price. So here I am having the variance for it. Now moving on towards our last topic of today, that is quantile. What is quantile? Quantile is basically used to describe data in a clear and understandable way. Till now we are getting an approximate values or accurate values, you can say that, while maintaining a data. Okay, now if you want to check it out in the form of a graph or a plot that is more clearly understandable, then we are having the option as quantile. Quantiles are basically statistics that describes various subdivision of a frequency distribution into equal proportion. Basically it is used to describe the plots of the frequency distribution. Now we are having some common quantiles. If we are having two quantiles, then it is called as median. For suppose we are having a data set over here, and if it is divided into 2, as we all know that median is a middle value, so if it is divided into 2, then it is median. Two quantile are there, 1 and 2, so it is a median. If 3 are there, then tercile, and 4 quantiles are there, then it is quartile. Quartile you have maximum use in your fractions value. For suppose you are having a circle, right, and you are dividing it in the 4 parts. So what it is? It is quartile. Same case, the 5 are quintiles and so on. 100 quintiles you are very familiar with, which is also known as percentiles. Okay. Now moving on towards the next one. Here I will show you an example of quintile. What we are saying is quintile. Now you can see here we are having a probability density, right, of a function. So you can see our maximum answers for a particular query or the particular equation lies in this area, right? Our 50% answers lies in this area. So here we are able to calculate our median, which is in the mid one, and our 50% answers lie here itself. Now this one is a mid area. After that you can see over here 25% answers lie here and 25% lie here. The mid 50 is here. This 25% is known as the 3/4 quartile, and this one is known as the 1/4 quartile. Okay, this is 3/4 and this is 1/4. Basically, quartile represents that a particular line. It shows a particular line from which our deviation is measured. Okay, for example, you are having a line over here. You can take the example of the box plot over here. This picture is known as a box plot. Box plot are basically the diagrams, or you can say the graphs, which are used to represent quintiles. So you can see over here, you can take the example of this one. We are having median in between. Okay, now our 50% of values lies in this area itself. Okay, in this box plot, so our 50% values lie here itself. Now after this line is our 25% percentile, 25 percentile, right? That means if we calculate the 25 percentile or the 0.25 percentile of any equation, then it gives a perfect value over here. Below this we are having the 25 percentile. After this we are having the 78 percentile, that is maximum than this range. And if we are having anything above 90 percentile, then we say them as outliers. Outliers means which are a solution to equation, but they are lying outside our solution arena. Now let us take an example. Okay, I can tell you where these are uses. For example, you are working in a research department. Okay, whether you are working in a geologist, or you can say that you are working with the humanities branch, right? You can use the quintiles there for making the approximation and the risk factors. The meteoroids that are about to touch Earth, how they are calculating the risk, they are using these things, that these are the possibilities. Same case with the commerce field, they can use it in making the portfolio, they can use it in the financial management, risk management. And the engineers, or you can say that the science field, they can also use it in their research. For suppose I give all of you the corona update of different states. Now if I want to ask you that which state is having the maximum patients of corona, how you are going to display it? If you are going to display it with the data, then the other people are not able to understand it easily, those who are not related with that thing. But if you show it in the form of graph, then other people can also understand it. So that's why we need the quintiles. In recent news we are hearing that in first 7 days a percentage was this, in next 7 days we are having this percent, in next 14 days we are having this percent. So what they are doing, they are just doing the approximation, they are doing the different deviations from there. So that's why they are plotting the quintiles, that below this 25% we are having a green zone, between this we are having an orange zone. If we are crossing the 70 percentile, then we are having the red zone. So what is it? It is quintile. So here how you can use the quintile. Now let us take an example. I am taking the same data frame that I have used earlier. I am taking the minimum value. I am just creating a 0.25 quintile, that means a 1/4 value that represents. So the minimum value which are showing the quintile is 4.25. If a person is having less than 4.25, then it reaches in the lowest area, or you can say the below 25% marks that person is having. Same case we can calculate the other quintiles also. Here I have calculated the quintile of the previous data from DFC, where I have calculated the 4 quantiles. One is 0.25. So in 0.25 we are having the range of 16,000, which one is near the minimum. Then 0.50, where we are having the price as 22,000, means it is, you can say that it's the median value around which all the maximum prices are there. And next we are having 0.75, which is 26,000, that you can expect that only 1/4, or you can say the last 1/4 values, because 3/4 is coming below the 26,000. 1/4 that is remaining, which is higher than 26,000, is coming after this. So I think you people are able to understand what a quantile is, where it is used. So children, in our today's lecture we learned about standard deviation, variance and quantile, their uses, where they can be used, and how to calculate them in pandas.